Being a landlord in 2025 comes with more responsibility than ever before. Laws are evolving fast, tenant protections are expanding, and technology is changing the way rental properties are managed. If you're not up to date, you could be exposing yourself to legal trouble, financial loss, or even lawsuits. In this video, we'll break down the legal must-knows every landlord should be aware of in 2025, covering leases, evictions, maintenance, rent laws, insurance, smart home tech, and more. Let's start with the foundation, habitability. Legally, every landlord must provide tenants with a safe, livable environment. That means working plumbing, heating, electricity, structural safety, and a pest-free space. If a property becomes uninhabitable, landlords are required by law in most states to fix the problem promptly. Tenants can now legally withhold rent, break the lease, or even sue for damages if landlords fail to make essential repairs. In 2025, several states have tightened timelines and increased penalties for non-compliance. Now let's talk about lease agreements. Your lease is a legal contract and the single most important document in your rental operation. In 2025, state laws are clamping down on vague or unfair lease terms. You must clearly state rent amount, due dates, grace periods, late fees, security deposits, repair responsibilities, and termination conditions. You can't include clauses that waive a tenant's legal rights, prohibit reasonable guests, or impose extreme penalties. In fact, some states now invalidate leases that include unlawful clauses altogether. So make sure your lease is legally reviewed and compliant with local regulations. Moving on to fair housing laws. Federal fair housing laws prohibit discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, and familial status. But in 2025, many states have expanded those protections to include sexual orientation, gender identity, source of income, immigration status, and criminal history. That means you can't reject a tenant just because they pay with a housing voucher or have a criminal record, unless there is a clear, documented safety concern. Violating these rules can result in investigations, fines, and even civil lawsuits. Next, let's cover security deposit rules. Security deposit laws are more strictly enforced than ever. Most states require landlords to hold deposits in separate accounts, often interest-bearing, and return them within a specific time frame, usually 14 to 30 days after the lease ends. You must also provide an itemized statement of any deductions. Keeping part of the deposit without a valid reason or failing to return it on time can lead to double or triple damages in court. In some places, not following the exact procedure is considered a form of tenant harassment. Now, let's address the eviction process. Eviction laws have become more structured since the pandemic. In 2025, landlords must follow a clear and often lengthy process before removing a tenant. That includes giving a written notice, allowing time to correct the issue, and providing documentation in court. Many states also require landlords to attend mediation or offer payment plans before filing an eviction lawsuit. In several major cities, tenants now have the legal right to free legal counsel in eviction court. If you skip steps or improperly serve notice, your case could be dismissed, and you could owe court costs and attorney fees. What about rent increases? In 2025, more states and cities are enforcing rent control or rent stabilization laws. This means landlords may only raise rent once per year, and only by a certain percentage, often tied to inflation. In Oregon, for example, the cap is inflation plus 7%. Landlords must provide 60 to 90 days written notice before raising rent, depending on local law. Failure to follow these rules can void the rent increase and subject you to penalties or legal action. Another critical topic: landlord entry. Even though you own the property, tenants have the legal right to privacy. In most states, You must give 24 to 48 hours notice before entering a rental unit, unless there's an emergency. Repeated unannounced visits can be considered harassment and may give tenants legal grounds to terminate the lease or seek damages. In 2025, several jurisdictions have updated their privacy laws to include electronic notification systems, like texting or emails, as valid forms of notice, as long as the tenant consents in writing. Let's talk about smart home technology and surveillance. As more rental properties adopt smart locks, video doorbells, and connected devices, privacy laws are catching up. Landlords must disclose the presence of surveillance devices, even in shared spaces like hallways and porches. Recording inside the rental unit or in private areas like bedrooms and bathrooms is strictly prohibited. In some states, tenants must give written consent before any device is installed or activated. Violating digital privacy laws could lead to criminal charges or civil lawsuits. Short-term rentals are another legal minefield. If you're renting your property on Airbnb or similar platforms, you must comply with local short-term rental laws. Many cities now require permits, restrict how many days per year you can rent, and impose occupancy taxes. Violating these regulations could lead to fines of several $1,000s or a permanent ban from listing in that area. In some cases, short-term rental activity can even void your insurance coverage if not disclosed. Now let's talk about mold, air quality, and environmental hazards. States like California and Washington have implemented stricter mold disclosure and cleanup requirements. If mold is found, you are legally required to have it professionally treated and disclose the issue to future tenants. Some states now allow tenants to terminate the lease early or sue for medical costs and damages if mold or air quality hazards aren't addressed promptly. This is not something to ignore. Indoor environmental health is becoming a major legal battleground in the rental world. Let's not forget landlord insurance. Basic homeowners insurance doesn't protect landlords. You must carry landlord insurance, which covers property damage, liability in case someone gets hurt, and loss of rental income due to disasters. In 2025, many states and lenders now require proof of this insurance to obtain rental licenses or financing. Skimping on coverage is a dangerous risk that could leave you financially ruined after a fire, flood, or lawsuit. Accessibility and ADA compliance are more relevant than ever. If you're renting out multi-unit properties or commercial space, the Americans with Disabilities Act and fair housing laws may require you to make reasonable accommodations. That could include wheelchair access, service animal policies, or allowing tenants to modify the unit at their own expense. In some cases, like new construction or major renovations, the law may require you to build accessible units and common areas from the start. Ignoring this can lead to fines and costly legal action. Finally, let's cover record keeping and digital documentation. In 2025, courts expect landlords to maintain clear, digital records of all transactions and communications. That means leases, payment histories, repair requests, entry notices, and eviction steps should all be saved, preferably in a cloud-based system. Paper files alone are no longer enough. If a legal dispute arises, the landlord who can't produce documents on demand is usually the one who loses. So, what should every landlord be doing in 2025? First, review and update your lease agreements to ensure legal compliance. Second, familiarize yourself with your local and state tenant laws, because they change often. Third, maintain strong digital records, use licensed contractors, and respond to tenant requests in writing. Fourth, get adequate insurance coverage and document all communication. And finally, stay educated. Join a landlord association, attend webinars, and subscribe to legal update bulletins. Being a landlord in 2025 isn't what it used to be. It's no longer enough to just collect rent. Today's landlords must operate like small business owners with legal, financial, and operational knowledge. By staying informed, staying compliant, and acting responsibly, you can avoid legal headaches, protect your investment, and build a positive reputation. Thanks for listening. If you found this information helpful, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon so you never miss important updates. Stay smart, stay legal, and stay ahead.